Hey everybody, welcome back to the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. So today I thought it would be fun to just kind of open some of the mail that I've received over the last few weeks. And these are things that I've either bought to read or my personal collection, or some books, or maybe I think there's some trading cards in here that I'm kind of specking on to maybe sell down the road. So let's kind of get into it. I'm not going to do this in any particular order. I'm just going to do it in the order that it's stacked in, and we'll see what I got. I don't even remember half the stuff I bought. Most of the time, if I find what I think to be a good deal on something, whether it be something that I collect or something that I think I might sell, I usually just buy it. I keep a stash bag of money just to be able to buy stuff like this. So this first envelope is some trading cards. Okay, so first thing is a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander Prism Base rookie card. Now, of course, Shea Alexander played for my beloved Cats and was a guy that kind of came out of nowhere. He wasn't even supposed to start for the team, ended up being one of the stars, and is now in the NBA, drafted by the LA Clippers, and now on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are in the bubble playing. And I was able to get a really good deal on this on a eBay auction. These things go for 40, 50 bucks ungraded. I was able to get this one for about 20 bucks shipped, so kind of got lucky there. And then this seller has thrown in some additional cards. There's a Joel Embiid NBA hoops, Allen Iverson NBA hoops, another Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, a Ben Simmons optic card, and a Zaire Smith. I probably won't do anything with these. Most likely, I may take them to my local shop and see if this is something that they're interested in. They may give me $1 worth of store credit or something. Or a lot of times I'll find people locally who have kids that I know that are kind of getting into the hobby, and I'll give them, because these are some pretty good names. Embiid, Iverson, Ben Simmons, a lot of Sixers, pretty much all Sixers actually. And if there's a kid locally that might want those, I'll probably give them to them. So first item, Shea. All right, next, got us a comic book. Now I have been specking pretty hard on the Dark Knights Metal series. That is written by Scott Snyder, and Greg Capullo is the artist. And I've said on here many times before, Snyder is one of my favorite writers. I've read just about everything he's ever wrote. And the Metal series that they came out with last year, they've kind of got a sequel to that. It's called Death Metal. And in that original series, if you keep up with comic books at all, you will have heard of the Batman Who Laughs. And that was the first appearance of the Batman Who Laughs, and I was able to pick up several copies of that. Not as many as I wanted to, because of course wasn't sure at the time the book was going to be that hot. Well, it's turned out to be a massive book. I think right now graded they're going for like anywhere from $300 to $500. Raw, 190. I mean, so it's been a big book. So in this particular run, there is a new character called the Robin King, which would be a kind of a version of the Batman Who Laughs, just Robin, right? So I've been kind of specking on it, thinking that maybe that one ends up being as hot as the other, the Batman Who Laughs. And so I've bought several copies, and so I would say we're going to see several copies of that in here. Now this particular book is Justice Society America, and this is the #1 issue, and this actually has the first appearance of Casey Quick. Now, you've seen her on the Flash TV show if you've watched that, but I actually bought this book by mistake. I have an app that I use called the Key Collector app. It's absolutely one of the best resources you can find, and I actually have a subscription to it, and it is $20 a year, I think, and there's just all kinds of information in there. You can find out what books are valued for. You can also find out what books are, keys. You can look all the books up. There's alerts you get. Say there's a movie coming out that's based on a comic book, something that people have been specking on. When it becomes confirmed, they alert you on there. So that's what happened with this. there was the Black Adam movie. One of the first appearances of the character, one of the characters that's going to play Dr. Fate, one of the first appearances are in Justice Society of America #1. Well, when I first went on the Key Collector app, I saw that and I went and looked it up, and I found this book for like $5. So I went ahead and bought it. And it turned out it was actually the wrong book. It's a later version of this, but it did turn out to be a first appearance of Jesse Quick. So I'm going to hang on to that. I collect first appearances, so not a bad buy. And it looks like this seller actually threw in a couple of things. Threw in a copy of The Walking Dead. This is 163. This is towards the end of the run. I have a couple copies of this. I'll probably sell this. And the books that I sell, the things that you see on here, I'll probably, like I said, I'll throw this extra one on there. It'll be on my eBay store. The link for that will be in the description below, along with all my other social media. And then they threw in a copy of the DC Nation book. And this kicked off the, if I'm not mistaken, the Year of the Villain run that they did last year, part of this year. So there's that. All right, moving on. So went to my comic book shop yesterday, and I have a pull list with Page 3 Comics in Pikeville. My office for my mortgage business is in Pikeville, and the Page 3 is like 3 minutes from my shop. So I go down there, I have a pull list there for all my DC content. Now, as I've told you on here before, I like to read DC. So I have my pull list for my DC comics here so that I can get them every week and I have something to read for the weekend. I have another pull list, which is actually this bottom box with Midtown Comics out of New York City. And I do all my Marvel stuff there because I don't buy a ton of Marvel and I don't necessarily care if I read it, but I take that back. Two of the hottest runs going right now, or actually three, are Venom, the Immortal Hulk, and the Thor series. So I get all those from Midtown. I kind of store those up and read those in sections instead of where the DC I pretty much read every single week. But that's what I get from Midtown. Plus, they have some of the independent books that my local LCS, Page 3, doesn't carry or doesn't order. So I get a lot of that stuff from there too. So these are the books that I picked up yesterday. This is the free comic book day. It's a Donald Duck book. And I think there's actually a first appearance in here. Don't hold me to that, but I think there is. Then Action Comics. Always pick up Action Comics. Love my Superman. Batman Detective Comics. Right there. And this is part of the Joker War series that's going on right now. I haven't actually read any of those. I've been storing those up because I want to read those all in one big story, which kind of leads into this. This is an insanely hot book right now. This is the Joker Wars, and their first appearance was back. DC did, I guess, kind of a rebranding of their books called Rebirth, and one of the variant covers for the very first book that they put out, and it's actually one of the first books I read when I started kind of getting back into it, reading all the time, has the first cover appearance of the three Jokers, and I actually have it over there in those long boxes right now. But this is the variant cover for the three Jokers. It's got Batman, and it's just become insanely hot. And I think it's because there's some reference to the new Batman movie, and if you haven't seen the trailer for that yet, that looks absolutely sick. And the music that's played over it is a Nirvana song. It's one of my favorite Nirvana songs. It's a cover of it. It's incredibly eerie, and I think DC's starting to finally hit on something when they did the Joker, the dark, R-rated type. I don't know how R-rated or how, adult Batman will be, but that trailer is awesome, and it did its job. I am pumped to go watch it. So one of the best runs going, in my opinion, is The Flash. Absolutely love The Flash. It's one of the most consistently good books that I pick up. I'm a huge Flash fan, and like I said, one of the best reads, most consistent read. Absolutely love it. Never hesitate to pick it up. And then I picked up a couple more of these Free Comic Book Day Donald Duck books, because if I'm not mistaken, there is a first appearance in these, and of course anything with Disney, always hot. Oh, and then this actually came with the Three Jokers book. It's just a trading card, and it was free with the purchase of one of the books. All right, so let's get into this one. So while I'm cracking into this bad boy, somebody had asked me about how I collect, what I collect, and things like that. I collect a lot of first appearances, primarily first appearances. I do collect some number ones. If I will read kind of the, I guess, the plot they put out when they're putting these books out. And if it's something that I think I'll like, or something that I think a TV show could potentially be made from, I usually pick up, and I'll pick up multiple copies. What my collection really consists of is a lot of older books. Now, I don't have any of those books here on site. They're all in safety deposit boxes. The Hulk 181, the first appearance of Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy. Those books are not on site. My true collection I keep off site in a bank in a safety deposit box. So that's what I do with those. So I keep those off site, as I was saying, and the stuff I keep here are things that I'm really kind of specking on, first appearances, things that I might send off to get graded. Not a huge grade guy. I like to be able to read the books myself. I like reading the books, so I don't always do that. But here. All right. Oh, this is Redneck number 1. This is also a Donnie Cates book. They've actually inked a deal to do a TV show based off of this. To be honest with you, I have never read this book. I'm definitely going to read this one. I've heard of it a bunch of times because they've been talking or specking on it for years, or for the last several years, that it was going to be a TV show, and found out that got confirmed, so I've picked up a few copies of that as well. So that's Redneck number 1. And a book like that, the more modern stuff, I will kind of hang on to it. There's a pretty good chance I'll get that graded, and I'll look to flip that at some point down the road. But yeah, as far as collecting goes, a lot of first appearances, a lot of number ones, and then like I said, I spec those out. Okay, yeah, so here is the Dark Knights, Legend of the Dark Knights number 1. This is the first appearance of the Robin King. And I actually have one already over there. I've got this one. I've got one coming in next month's pull list for Midtown. And my guess is there's a couple more of these in here. And as I said, what I'm kind of specking on is the fact that the Robin King at some point may become like the Batman Who Laughs. And if that happens, then you've got a pretty valuable book on your hand. All right. This one is wrapped kind of weird. Here we go. A lot of tape. It's probably my least favorite way for somebody to send a book. The way that I mail my books, the ones that I sell, I put in Gemini mailers. Hands down, the meat protects them the best, and then I put some extra protection in them, whether that be, usually I wrap them with bubble wrap. All right, this thing's in here. Well, I will give them this. While it's hard to get into, it is absolutely well packed. So while it may be a little hard to get into, I can live with that, as long as the book comes in good condition. And so far, all these books that I've pulled out so far have come in excellent condition. Wow, I gotta pack this thing up, boys. Then also, the other irritating thing, if you're going to tape or put any tape on your books and they're going to be on the actual, okay, no, they put it in an actual bag. That's good. I was going to say, don't use regular tape. Use the blue painter's tape. It comes off very easily. So what do we get here? Okay, yeah, so this is another copy of Dark Knights, or Legend of the Dark Knights number 1. And then this is just an absolutely sick cover of the Robin King. And like I said, I'm not a huge cover guy, but if I see one that really speaks to me, then I'll pick it up, and that is a sick cover. Like I said, excellent condition. The books look good. Can't go wrong there. All right, so we got another one that's taped to the hilt here. You don't need this much tape, guys, when you're sending this stuff out. I mean, like I said, I appreciate it. They're trying to get it here securely. But you just, you know, from a presentation standpoint, it's not great. And really, as far as what's actually needed to get it to someone safely, it just does not need all this. There's actually more of a chance that you would damage the book just trying to get it out of here. Yeah, so another copy. Dark Knight's Metal, Legends of the Dark Knight #1. First appearance of the Robin King, just like you've seen in these others. Now this one, there's a chance that this is something that I bought for a different video, but the way that it's sent, I don't know. So I'm gonna open it, and then if I think that's what it is, then I'm just gonna set it to the side. Once again, taped up. And these two things too, if you tape them, this is a good way to actually send your books through this priority mail. When you tape it up, you can't pull the tab. You gotta tear this thing up trying to get it out. So this is sent well. I mean, it's in another, this is actually what they call a Gemini mailer. So it's sent well. I think I know what this is. See, blue tape, and then they've even put little pull tabs on here for you to pull off. That's a nice touch. Just makes it 10 times easier to get in there. Like I said, and you're less likely to damage the book trying to tear it apart to get in, or having to use a knife or anything else for that matter. Oh, okay, yeah, so this is another, I got an alert, same thing with the Black Adam movie. And this is the first appearance of, and the name escapes me right now, of the person that becomes Dr. Fate, but this is his first appearance. And the character that's going to be in the Black Adam movie is the one that has the first appearance in this book. So came hot, and I mean, like literally, I got that alert, went on, started looking, and I was putting offers in on them, different things, and they were just selling left and right. So as soon as I got the alert, so there's a whole lot more people who have the Key Collectors app, just like me. But I was able to pick this up along with a couple of other books in that run for about 18 bucks. These two probably sell or trade in for store credit at my local comic book store. This one, it's in great condition. That's a great condition book. So this one looks good. I'll take it out later and inspect the back, but the front looks great. I'll probably end up setting that back, maybe sending it off, getting it graded for something to spec down the road. And again, as far as what I personally collect, this is a fairly modern book. I like things from silver, bronze, golden age. Those are the books as far as my collection, what I really collect. And if there's an absolutely huge character that comes out like the Batman Who Laughs, then I'm probably going to hang on to that. He's the first one in a while. There's probably 3 to 4 books a year that really take off, that are, you know, just modern books that, you know, really increase in value. You'll have books that come out that shoot up in value instantly, and I tell people all the time, look, don't go in there and pay those eBay prices. If you can pick it up at your local comic store, grab it, but give it a little bit of time and be patient, because 99% of the books that you want are going to end up coming back down in value. They'll get that initial eBay bump, and then they'll come back down. So a lot of this is just being patient and trying to wait for the right price. Just like this shape, I bet I've got 50 of these in my watch list right now, but I have a particular price that I'm willing to pay, or that I feel like is a good investment, and I'm not overpaying. So pick that one up, and I've got 4 or 5 more in there, and I'll usually get 10 to 15 of these, and then I'll do it. But what I always tell people when it comes to collecting, if they ask my advice, buy what you like. If you buy what you like, you will never go wrong. If you're constantly trying to spec, because it takes years and years for a lot of these books. Like there's a couple of Thor books over there. I just picked up one the other day, Beta Ray Bill. It's been out for first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. It's been out for years. And now all of a sudden it's just caught fire. And so I'm actually getting my copy pressed and clean. I'm gonna send it off to be graded because that's gonna end up being a major key. Well, it already is a major key, but it's gonna end up being one of those books that ends up getting into the thousands of dollars as far as value, in my opinion. So, but buy what you like. You'll end up, you can do what I do, like a lot of times with Midtown, when they're first appearances, but they're kind of minor first appearances, minor keys, I actually put them in my wish list or save for later box. And when Midtown has a sale, 60% off, 75% off, there are certain books I'll buy at 60% off, some I'll buy at 75% off. And that way I don't feel like I've got too much invested in them, and I can save money for the books, those 3 or 4 books a year that become just massive. And I can, if I missed out early, I can try to get in and pick those up. And then the other thing you're doing, like I read a lot, like I do a lot of stuff for my mortgage business, but in my spare time, I'm basically reading about movies that potentially could come out based on comic books. You've got a couple like Image, Boom Studios that have signed deals with Netflix. So they put books out, Netflix gets first look. And if one of those series hits, kind of similar to like what The Walking Dead did, now you got some real books. So I don't know, that's just kind of my theory on the way I do it, and it's changed a lot over the years. When I collect something, like I think it was a video I did a couple days ago on a comic Tom box, I'm a completionist. So that means if I start, then I have to complete, because I'm working on an Uncanny X-Men run. And I just finished the Dark Phoenix saga, the one with the movie. There's a whole run there that they made those several of those X-Men movies off of, and I just finished a run of that. But I'm one of those people that I get obsessed. Once I start collecting a run, I have to finish it. So, and that's a problem. And that's just like I've said before, I literally have a problem. Like I like everything. There is nothing I don't like. I like trading cards. I like comic books. I like toys. I actually bought a Hawkman over there. I'll show you in just a second. I went ahead and opened it because I wanted to see it, because Hawkman is one of my absolute favorites. So this is my box from Midtown, the pull list I have from them. And this is a month's worth. I have it just saved up and shipped once a month. Usually I end up with enough books that I get free shipping. So that's part of the reason I do it too. And then like I said, they have crazy sales. From time to time, you'll get 50% off, 60% off, 75% off sometimes. And you can grab some, like I said, minor keys or books that you may think could be something down the road that you're just not, really interested, because you can only spend so much money on this stuff. I could spend everything I make. Amy Kerr would kill me, but I could, because I love it that much. All right, several books in here. Like I said, it's a month's worth. Let's see what we got. So one of the runs I read is Amazing Spider-Man. Like I said, DC is my favorite. I love Spider-Man, of course. Everybody does. When you're growing up as a kid, I think, I was talking about the books that I love. Like I love DC, and I think that's because of the channels I had. We had like 5 channels when I was growing up as a kid. The channels that I had showed Super Friends. So I just immediately I love Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, all those guys. And then Spider-Man, you probably got to saw or remember those really cheesy movies they made that would come on like TBS or whatever. I actually found one the other day and watched it. It was awesome. But it's really, compared to what they can do today, really, really badly done. But this is number 46 in the current Spider-Man run. Now, this is Batman 95. This is a variant cover. It's a Matina cover. I just think that's awesome. It's a Joker in fire with some kind of rocket launcher on it. It's awesome. And I like Matina. His stuff looks very similar, but it's awesome. I mean, like he's a great artist. This is that Dark Knight's Death Metal. This is book 3 in the current run. Okay. Venom number 27. This is the current run too, and there's this guy I watch on YouTube all the time. It's called Jim's Comics. kind of does a preview show of the books that are coming out this week or that week, and the books that he think could be key or could have some value long term. And as he always says, if you're not buying Venom, you have no business collecting comics. This is a phenomenal run. Donny Cates is on fire right now. That Redneck #1, that was a Cates book. Venom is a Cates book. It's awesome. Venom's great. All right, this one, some of them, because of the barcode, they flip them backwards, so I'll just take this one out. Oh, I do a podcast with a couple of guys called Just That Bourbon, and me and my brother-in-law are on it, and we get considered to be conspiracy theories because it's just kind of fun. Well, this book is actually called Conspiracy. And it's a great read, like it really is, but it's all kind of these wild conspiracies just done in comics. It's just very well done. The art's great, and the story is just right up my alley. All right, this is going to be Undiscovered Country. The writer is Scott Snyder, who I talked about earlier on Death Metal. And this was a new series they put out, and they're actually in talks to do a movie with this, and it is great. It's basically, it's kind of a play on, immigration and building a wall, and so they basically build a wall and shut everybody out, and these people in these other countries end up getting in, and it's just a complete zoo. So, great book. Interesting concept. The other book that Jim Comics says, if you're not buying, you have no business buying comics, is the Immortal Hulk run. It's another one, absolutely. Al Ewing is the guy writing it, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So, great book, great series. If you're getting into it, you should definitely pick one up. I don't remember. Oh, this is the new X-Men run. And it's been good. They had last year come out with these 2 miniseries, House of 10, Powers of X, or House of X, Powers of 10, one or the other. And then the current run, I've been checking it out. I may drop it at some point. Hickman's writing this book, and it's been pretty good. It's pretty highbrow level. I like it. So I'm going to continue reading it for a while. And one of the most underrated series out there right now. I mean, absolutely. Chip Zdarsky's writing this one. This is Daredevil. This is awesome. If you're wanting to get back and if you can get at the start of this run or pick up the trade book, pick that up. It's a great story, great run. I'm just going to keep buying it. And I'm actually hanging on to the books too because I think at some point it could be considered. It's so good they could make the show Daredevil if they bring it back on Disney Channel or whatever. I can easily see that coming out of there. What's this one? The Boys. Yeah, Dear Becky. This is the new Boys run, and also the Boys is getting ready to have their second season on Amazon Prime. I cannot wait. I got on the first series of the Boys. That's basically anti-superheroes. These people are superheroes. They're essentially made, but they're butts, for the lack of a better word, in their private life. And if you haven't watched the show, it's not kid-friendly, but if you haven't watched the show on Amazon Prime, you should definitely check it out. All right, this is part of the Amazing Spider-Man run, new kind of a storyline, and it's called the Sins Rising, and this is the Sins Rising Prelude. So this is part of the Amazing Spider-Man current run. Amazing Spider-Man's been okay. It's not great, it's not like it's been in the past. It's okay though, it's still fun to read. It's still Spider-Man, so can't really go wrong. This is Strange Academy, and this one I believe, this is the second print. And this is what would put you in mind of Umbrella Academy. Doctor Strange is the mentor. I could easily see this becoming a show on the Disney Channel or Disney Plus. And so I've got the first print, second print now. I've ordered the third print. I've got the variant copy. So that's one I'm kind of specking on for down the road. And apparently I ordered 2 copies of this. I didn't mean to, but I did. So this will be for sale in my eBay store. Batgirl, I don't normally buy Batgirl, but it's part of, when they do these runs, like this is the Joker War kind of run. Some of the other books will, you don't have to read those books to get the full story. You can read the main title and, keep up just fine. but I always like reading the side titles when they do things like this. So this is Batgirl. I bought a couple of these here lately. I say I don't like covers, but I end up buying some. This is a series called Bitter Root, and this is a New Jack City homage cover. So that's what that is. And I bought one of these last month. They did a Prince homage cover with Bitter Root, and I bought it too. So that one I'll probably hang on to, kind of a long-term, potential spec. But I just love New Jack City. Wesley Snipes, that movie. So I picked that one up. Amazing Spider-Man. Another book in this run. This is 45. Again, kind of jumping into that Sins Rising storyline. All right, let's see here. This is a free comic book day. Robert Kirkman, who wrote, actually a fellow Kentuckian, and who wrote The Walking Dead, had a free comic book day. It was totally free, so I grabbed that. This was called Firepower. Check that out, see if it's any good. This is one of those things, they have little free things they send, and that's what this is. And then apparently I messed up somewhere. I've ordered a second copy of Batgirl 47 from the Joker War. So again, will be on my eBay store. So that's a lot. I've ordered a lot. I spend way too much money doing this. But this is, I thought it would be fun just to sit down and talk a little bit about how I collect and some of the things that I do. I'll show you some of the books that I've actually been ordering. And I'm actually it's a Saturday right now when I'm recording this, and I'm probably going to jump into this and read some books today. It's kind of rainy outside or overcast, and so I'm probably not going to go out anywhere. So this is probably what I'm going to do today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this is a lot longer than my normal videos, but I just thought this would be fun while I open this stuff, just to do it and put it on the channel. So as we always say, if you don't care, subscribe to the channel. I was talking about the podcast earlier. I'm actually in a competition with one of my co-hosts. He has his own YouTube channel where he samples bourbon, kind of reviews it. He also shows you how to make some mixed drinks, some recipes that he gets, and he tries them out on there. It's actually pretty fun. Great friend of mine, total snowflake, but I love him, and we have a lot of fun. The podcast is called Just Add Bourbon if you're so inclined. But we're in a contest, first person to 250 subscribers. The loser has to eat a Carolina Reaper. And if JD and I both make 250 and our podcast page makes 250, then we're both going to do it. And I'm going to wear a Biden-Harris shirt while Trump wears a while JD wears a Trump Pence shirt. So, and we're going to do it live on the podcast. So, yeah, that should be fun. So, do me a favor, subscribe. I'd really love to make JD eat that Carolina Reaper. Also, comment. Let me know what you think. Do you like the videos? Do you hate them? Is there anything you'd like me to do another video on? Is there anything you'd like to see me open? And also hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I put new content out. And guys, I appreciate it. Like I said, I know it's been a little long, but I've had fun sitting here running my mouth. So we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for checking out SmallTown Collectibles.